Hello, folks. This is gonna be a quick video on my opinion of the whole thing where the right are basically trying to co-opt and use the whole term of critical race theory, and apparently there's a law bill that was passed in Oklahoma that basically sort of tries to block any school education thing that has to do with uncomfortable subjects about racism and things of that nature. I want people to understand the laws that these Republicans are passing. These are basically the equivalent of this is literally like white fragility. Like these guys are literally passing white fragility laws. That's what it is because they don't want these kids to know anything about racism or any other thing, and they're peddling this thing, and the right are just pushing this whole critical race theory thing. Not the only one. There's a certain fuckwit out there called James Lindsay. He's another one, um, aka I get money for Peter Thiel. But um, this whole situation that's happening, it's crazy to me because now they're they're using this as an attempt to cancel professors. Now I want to make this point clear, okay? The right, this idea of cancel culture, let me be honest with you, okay? This is them trying to essentially bring back the hysteria of the 90s again, but in the age of social media. They're trying to do this again. They did it in the 90s. And to be honest, I think they're going to do it again in the future, again, over something else. We don't know what it's going to be called, but they're going to do it fucking again, because it's not the first time. And what bothers me is that this whole critical race theory thing is tied to it because other milquetoast liberals also fall for this shit. They also fall for this sort of narrative as well. And the CRT thing, this whole narrative, to me, what the Republicans are making it out to be, from what I can see, they're basically trying to essentially tell students, they're saying, oh, it's not true. I don't want them to learn about this. It's not true with America. So you don't want children to know the history of this country. You essentially just want indoctrination. That's not education. That's you indoctrinating someone through propaganda that's not even true. That's basically full on fascist shit. That's like, you're almost like near the point where you do want to do book burnings. I mean, this is crazy to me. But you have these people out there that want to do that. So, again, these laws that they're trying to pass, and it's already happening in Oklahoma, I heard, they're trying to do it, and I'm gonna keep calling it to the wind. These are white fragility laws. This is peak white fragility. Like this is literal like peak white fragility that these people are passing, and now that's what these Republican legislators and states are literally trying to do. They're trying to pass white fragility laws, and I'm not gonna. It is a little pathetic. I'm not gonna lie. On that level, it is a little pathetic, but it's also pretty dangerous because what they're trying to do, it just borders on very authoritarian like behavior. And I've always said these people don't really care about freedom of speech. The people that talk about the free speech brigade, those people, they never appear when this shit like this happens because this is not their concern. Um, they don't really give a damn about this. So from in my opinion, I just call these people, they're basically authoritarians pretending to be pro free speech. In reality, they're not. Um, they want free speech for themselves. They're allowed to do whatever they want, whatever pleases them. But if you do anything that remotely bothers them, they can go after you, but you can't do that to them. It's highly narcissistic, highly um, very entitled thinking, but that's how these people are thinking when you talk about this. So this whole situation at the moment is to me a little creepy. That's what we're doing here. A professor in our college, this was on the news, she had to cancel her summer classes on this stuff because of the bill that was passed in in Oklahoma, and it's insane to me. And from now on, I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think we should call these critical race theory stuff anymore. To me, if you want to fight against this sort of narrative, I'm just gonna keep calling them, white fragility. White fragility laws. It's a they're using the term CRT to go after people, but in reality, what these Republicans and these other right wingers are doing, they're peddling white fragility. That's all they're doing. They're literally peddling white fragility, and that's how it's always been. I've heard this argument constantly, and now they're doing it with education. Before with sports, you heard arguments about that. Oh, we don't want you to talk about race in sports, even though that's important to talk about, right? Now they're trying to do it with education, that's even more dangerous, because now you're telling that children or young people can't learn about the reality they live in, right? And it's frankly absurd to me. Most of and to be honest, what kids are they talking about that they don't want them to learn about this stuff? These guys are mostly talking about white kids. They don't want white kids to know about this stuff. That's really what it is, to be honest with you. That's why I call these things appropriately white fragility laws that these people want to pass. And it's white fragility to its peak. So this is more of a quick video on that whole situation. From what I could see, to what's happening, especially this whole critical race theory situation. I could do a longer video on that whole thing, because I do think um, it is a regurgitated form of propaganda of and it's basically, it does feel like it's white fragility, but there's a lot of white fragility going on, but it's covered over CRT. They use that to cover for it, so you don't know that it's actual white fragility, when in reality that's literally what it is. Um, Other than that, um, it's great to know that there are many conservatives out there who, like, they're on Fox News saying, like, oh, we want our kids to know certain things, and I'm like, then you're not really doing education. Then you're just doing, so you guys believe education is just to create worker bees for capital and just indoctrination. So when people like Marco Rubio tells us that we got to do something against China, we're just going to jump, right? I mean, that's the type of people that you're trying to set up, right? And in reality, I'm sorry, bro, that's pretty totalitarian. It's a pretty fascist idea of how you think people should educate people. You think education should just be just pure indoctrination, and that's all it is. That's all it is. Um, and it's really funny. It's really, really funny to see that. And yet these are the same people that complain when it's like, oh, why are we being persecuted as conservatives? And yet they're trying to pass these laws. I mean, it's absurdity to its highest point. So anyhow, folks, see you later, and that's my video for today.